and welcome back to the second season of newspaper article Lucky Dip. It's been a minute, yeah, a lot of other things on the go, but we're here now. Again, no trigger warnings. If you find that you're easily distressed by sensitive topics, of which any kind can be related to anything, have a wee look in the description below. Do yourself a favour and don't just watch the thing, because I don't know what's coming out of the hat. I will know afterwards and I will put it in the description, so check it out for me, please. We'll get straight into this one, because we're going to want to do this quickly. The cat is in the mood for destroying the room around me. So we have first the Caledonian Mercury. Everyone knows that's one of my favourite publications. This is for the 9th of August 1731. And again, I'm never quite sure if you can see these things when I hold them up, but I do it anyway just in case you can. So let's find out what the Cali Mercury has for us. Okay, so this is a very short article, one sentence long. This is intimation from Edinburgh for August the 9th. We hear from Dunblane that 4 men were killed in that neighbourhood on Saturday last se'nnight by the dreadful thunder and lightning of that day. Do we think they died because they got hit by lightning? I assume so. Maybe they were too close to trees. Maybe they were golfing. It doesn't really illuminate as to how they died. I mean, there could have been thunder and lightning on the go, and they just so happened to die by getting run over. Maybe they were crossing a street. Maybe they fell off something high. Maybe they all died in different ways while there was thunder and lightning on the go. Not super sure about that one. Okay, well, we'll have another one because that was very short. Elfie's still hiding. I'm worried in case he starts moving, to be honest. You stay where you are, darling. Okay, so the second one we have is the Dundee Courier for the 17th of November 1938. Let's see what the Dundee Courier has for us. Okay, so we don't often get into the 20th century with articles, especially the type of research that I do. So this is a fairly contemporary article we've got here. We have MP fears munitions scandal, withdraws support from government. Mr. Austin Hopkinson, MP for Mossley, Lancashire, has withdrawn his support from the government because of his views on the air situation. In a letter to Captain Margison, Chief Government Whip, Mr. Hopkinson writes, "I must ask you to regard me as no longer a supporter of the government. The condition in which the Royal Air Force recently found itself in the face of imminent hostilities is known abroad, and is suspected by an increasing number of our own people. But the speech of the Secretary of State for Air in the House of Commons last Thursday convinces me that there is little hope that the public will get from the government any real information as to the true state of affairs. Nor in the matter of aircraft supply do I see any signs that adequate action will be taken to make an end of the methods which have already wasted enormous amounts of public money and appear likely to lead to a serious munitions scandal. Mr. Hopkinson, a son of Sir Alfred Hopkinson, a former MP, had a majority of 2,170 at the general election of 1935 as a national government candidate. He had previously sat as an independent. His politics have always been marked by a spirit of independence." Now, I don't usually look into why an article is or what it's talking about. I like to kind of, think about it, like what could they be talking about, make some suppositions of my own. Now, but I don't know which condition of the Royal Air Force he's talking about. What would have happened a year prior to World War II to have embarrassed the Royal Air Force? Meow. Elfie's just getting in on the action. Do you have an idea? Do you know much about the Second World War? Oh, we lost Fargo. Oh boy. Yeah, I knew you were going to come in and destroy something. I know. It was always going to happen. So, I don't know, is this something, do we think, that was to do with the lead up to World War II? It says, nor in the matter of aircraft supply do I see any signs that adequate action will be taken. So, is he saying that we don't have enough munitions? We don't have enough aircraft? Are they maybe readying themselves for World War II and he's feeling like the government aren't doing enough to equip the country? That's what it sounds like. But that it could lead to a serious munitions scandal. He's also mad about the wasted amounts of public money, which is rare for a Westminster politician. They tend to see public money as their own personal funds, don't they, in a lot of cases? So, I don't know. I mean, how could we waste Maybe they've wasted enormous sums on inadequate munitions or on faulty aircraft, or maybe that was the issue. Maybe it's the PPE scandal. But like 100 years ago, just wasting like millions and billions on inadequate equipment. I could see that as being feasible. Interesting one. Right, we'll see what we've got next. We don't have an Elfie to worry us. We have the Edinburgh Evening Courant for the 27th of May 1862. See what Edinburgh Evening Courant has. Okay, so this gives us a strange attack in a railway carriage. A strange occurrence took place in the train which left Paris for Rouen the evening before last. A young tradesman residing at Cannes entered a carriage at Mantes in which an individual of about 45 years of age, a young man and a young woman were already seated, and after a few words exchanged with his fellow travellers, fell asleep. He was shortly after awakened by a sharp pain in the neck from a stab given him by the man of 45, who had his arm raised to strike a second time. The young tradesman, with the assistance of the other man and the young woman, secured the man and attempted to alarm the guard, but their efforts were for a long time fruitless. The unpleasant situation lasted for a considerable time, the wounded man becoming gradually weaker from loss of blood, and the young man and the girl fearing to be left alone with the assailant. At length the train stopped and assistance was obtained. The man turned out to be a native of the Grisons in Switzerland, under whose care the young woman, also a native of Switzerland, was on her way to New York to be married to a Swiss settled there. The two young men having entered into conversation with this charge, who is of remarkable beauty, excited in him such an ungovernable fit of anger that in a moment of temporary insanity he seized a penknife which the young tradesman had left on the seat after paring his nails, and made the attack. Happily the wound inflicted is not serious. What? So, the guy looking after the woman has been so pissed off that she's entered into conversation with the two other guys in the carriage that he stabbed one of them? He wasn't even going to end up with her. She was going to New York to marry a different guy who wasn't even in the carriage at all. What? That seems really odd behaviour. There's protective, but stabbing a guy in the neck just for talking to the lassie that you're looking after. I don't get that. I wonder if he was put away. It doesn't even say what happened to him. It just says that the guy survived. It's not serious. The wound inflicted wasn't serious. It was serious enough that he was becoming weak from loss of blood. I wonder how that ended. Did she get to New York? Did she marry the person she was supposed to? Did she ditch that guy as soon as she could because the hell is he stabbing people for just for talking to her? And what happened to the guy that made the attack? I mean, they're travelling. Are they travelling through countries? Have they gone from Switzerland and now they're in France? So maybe there is a kind of jurisdictional issue? It just literally doesn't tell us any of what the outcome of that was. That is really weird. For a minute there I kind of thought that it was because he wanted her for himself, but it says he was only looking after her until she got to New York. I can't fathom some folk, honestly. We'll have a last one, just because that first one was only just a wee sentence. That's so weird. Crazy. We have the Oxford University and City Herald for the 27th of August 1814. The gods only know what I was researching when I came across this paper. Curious as to what it has to offer us. Okay, so this is also a really short article. We have fatal coincidence. In New Orleans, America, on the 4th of April last, died Mr. Bert Germa, merchant, aged 74 years and one of the oldest native inhabitants of that city. Finding himself indisposed in the middle of the night, he sent for Dr. Domingo Flatus, who, in 2 minutes after feeling the pulse of his friend, fell down, when both expired at the same instant. I was wondering how that was going to end. What? So the guy takes ill, his friend the doctor comes round, feels his pulse, and they both fall down dead. Do we think there was an environmental cause? Maybe some kind of gas or... I don't know. Yeah, I can only think that maybe it was something environmental. Maybe they were breathing something. And that's what made the ill guy feel ill in the first place. But then for the doctor to succumb so quickly, when his friend had obviously been there for a wee while feeling ill. These articles seem to leave more questions than answers for the men, don't they? Yeah, that's a definitely a fatal coincidence. Yeah, they're very right. I didn't expect that. Okay, well, we'll have another, just because we've had two very, very short articles. We'll make this the last one, regardless of size, shall we? Knowing our luck, it'll be proper. Let's see. We have the Alloa Advertiser for the 23rd of August 1890. The Alloa Advertiser. Huh. Okay, so we have Poisoned by Lemonade. Several people in Wichita, Kansas, who went on a picnic yesterday morning have died from the effects of drinking unwholesome aerated waters, chiefly lemonade, and many others are suffering acutely from the same cause. Great indignation prevails, and the municipal and state authorities are called upon to institute thorough investigation. In the opinion of experts, chemical acids were used to flavour lemonade, and either there was an overdose or an actual poison was used in mistake for the lemon. And the Alloa Advertiser obtained that story from the Daily Mail, who reported it on the 30th of June. Okay, I mean, there was that kind of happening often when, especially before arsenic was coloured with indigo or soot, it would come in a white powder, and lots of things come in white powders, including, more likely than not, citric acid and the flavour for lemonade. So, is that one of these happenings? Has someone reached into the wrong tub to obtain the white powder for the lemonade? Or was it on purpose? Several people on a picnic. It doesn't say whether they were related, because that might have been more of a clue that maybe someone was after a family. Although, if someone was attempting to target one person, to target those around them at the same time would throw off suspicion that there was just one person that was the target, and therefore find the link to the person who murdered them. I don't know. And again, there's no after effects shown, there's no kind of roundup here. It doesn't tell us what came of this, whether there was a thorough investigation instigated here, whether anyone was maybe got for having tampered with the lemonades, maybe the company or shop or person that's made it has been got. I don't know. I would think that if several people have died, there's going to have been someone having to answer for that. It's usually the case, isn't it? Unless it's a corporation. If a large corporation kills lots of people, they usually just throw their hands up and go, "Oh, our mistake, and pay a fine," or something, don't they? It's not often that they get got for these things. You know, like in the case of Nestle or Coca-Cola or Johnson Johnson or whatever, like Monsanto, you know. They usually just end up paying a fine, don't they? But, okay. I feel like today's theme has been unsatisfactory endings. We've not really received answers to the deaths and near deaths or investigations that may have come as part of these stories. Yeah, a wee bit of an unsatisfactory one, a wee bit frustrating. I may have to go searching for some answers. If I find any, I may put them in the description below. I may also just leave you wondering. So I may see you for the next one. I hope so. Take care.